We are live. Welcome to a special edition of the CK Podcast slash post game show here on the Basketball Zone Cowbell Kingdom YouTube channel. My goodness, the Minnesota Timberwolves were impressive tonight, Javi. We're talking full on Timberwolves. This is now the T Wolves post game show. How you doing, bro?
A lot of emotion today, a little distraught. Before we go into anything in basketball, I just want to give a shout out to my player who tragically passed away, Daniel Hughes. I had the great honor of coaching him, and I just want everybody to know that you truly cherish people that you come into contact with in any capacity in life. And I know he'd want us and want me and everybody that coached him to continue to move forward. But he was a true dream chaser, and I coached him for the last 3 years. And this shirt is to honor him, number 9. Long live Daniel Hughes. He was a true dream chaser, and you see my mask. The team that I coached him on, Dream Chasers Never Sleep, and he was everything that we instill and embody in a dream chaser. And you'll live on forever in our hearts. And we love you, Daniel Hughes, and long live Daniel Hughes forever into the end of time.
Absolutely, man. Prayers out to his family. I know it's hard times right now, and God bless him. He's now in a better place. Sometimes, Javi, and it's obviously it's hard, and somebody from the outside looking in, it's things happen for a reason, but God does, and He works miracles in different ways, man. And sometimes we just gotta accept them for what they are, and just become better humans overall. And who knows, maybe this gets their family even closer, or something's gonna happen. Like, that's how I think about it. That's my outlook in life, and God doesn't make mistakes. So God bless him in his heart and his soul. And again, he's in a better place, man, where there's nothing but peace and harmony, man. Because right here on earth, there's a lot of frustration, lots of pain, obviously, with the verdict going on today. Some justice was served. So thank God for that as well, to the family of George Floyd. Javi, we're going to get into a lot of the T-Wolves on this show. I feel like it's only fair to talk about if whether or not the Minnesota Timberwolves have a brighter future than the Sacramento Kings. I think it's a fair question. In all honesty, we'll get into that. We'll break down some of the game, some of the mishaps from Luke Walton, in my opinion, not playing Tyrese in crunch time, going small at the wrong times, knowing that you have a legit, offensively skilled 7-footer like Karl Anthony Towns. And this was one of those games where I wasn't too happy with going small, because obviously this guy can hit a 3-point shot. So he's a lethal weapon from inside and out, and he took advantage, and that's why they went on that. I think it was a 14-0 run, if I'm not mistaken. So that was tough to watch. We'll get into that. A little bit of Mo Harkless. I'm starting to like him a little bit more, but I'm still not crazy about it, and we'll get into that as well. But let's start off with who your MVP of the game was for tonight.
D'Angelo Russell, just the number 1 Kings killer since he's been playing for the Brooklyn Nets back in the Jaeger year. You just look at things, and like they did go on that 18-3 run. It was 115-114 with about 5 to 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It's just, I'm sorry to say, folks, all my Kings fans, even you, Leo, my brother, I mean, the run's over, man. Like, I said this on Sunday. It's not even about the season and being done with that, but this team, like, I love Rashawn, but Rashawn couldn't fix this. We know Marvin Bagley couldn't fix the identity of this team defensively. It's just, I don't know if it's constructed correctly, but you look at D'Angelo Russell, he had 28 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists in 25 minutes. Like, that's just like, it's a means to an end right now. And I look at De'Aaron. You look at De'Aaron, he had 14 points. If he's not putting up 30, we lose by 15. And that literally is where this team is with any rhyme and reason to having any success. They put up another 16 points if he gets the 30 mark and they win by 2, hypothetically. But again, this team goes as the point guard goes. Fox takes his team where no other player on the roster can do anything to subside that loss and any voided scoring output that he does not display. And again, he needs help. He needs more. And D'Angelo Russell doing that and then going on an 18-3 run with about 5 to 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter is just unexplainable, unwarranted, but most importantly, it is without a shadow of a doubt, disappointing to see because there's no way you can tell me that Luke Walton, but most importantly, Rex Kalamian, can tell anybody in that podium today that the worst team record-wise in the NBA beat the Kings by 14 at home? Like a team with this type of promise and, firepower, that is just in every which way unacceptable. And as Kings fans, obviously we demand excellence and we want the best and we expect better outing from the Kings on a day in and day out, game in and game out basis. But this is not even quality professional basketball. The NBA has a team in the Timberwolves that have been playing to lose for a good while now. And there's no way you can look at me and tell me that the Kings coaching staff does need to go sit down at the table and look at each other and say, "Are we fit to do this?" And people are like, "That's over the top." And the players have every right to do it too, but that in no way, shape, or form should be accepted. And the worst part about it, it was the first night that fans got to come back in the arena, and it's like that's a microcosm of this 2-year stint we've dealt with Luke Walton, and it's not all on him. Claiming has equal responsibility, the players, but fellas, ladies and gentlemen, it's over. Like, this was a bad day for me already, and this just cemented this day. I'm glad that we're almost at, the Wednesday, so we can have this brilliant show at Medici, Sacramento tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. But again, this run, it's over. De'Aaron and De'Aaron and De'Aaron. And you can put Halliburton. I'm not. I love Halliburton, but I'm not going to wither or willow my future and be hamstrung when I have to make a deal because I don't want to trade. I don't care. And I might sound like I'm not being prisoner of the moment. I've said this before about numerous deals. Outside of De'Aaron Fox, nobody's untouchable. And I love Rashawn, but I mean, come on, man. Though they had 12 wins, now 13, maybe 14. I mean, they are the worst in the West, and they blew us out the water.
I have to give you the thumbs up and give everybody the thumbs up in terms of agreeing with you that this season is over. And this thumbs up isn't just a thumbs up, it's a cabbage wrapped thumbs up for all the pain that not just my thumb has, but that my heart has, and my ego has, and my soul has, because this team is an embarrassment from top to bottom, from Vivek to Luke to De'Aaron to Buddy, etc. Every single member of this organization needs to look themselves in the mirror and ask themselves, are we giving it our all? Are we doing the right things to lead this team into the right direction, in the positive direction, and make Kings fans say, we are Sacramento proud? And the answer is no right now. Now, how do you fix this? What should they do? In other words, they can do a lot of things, right? And this offseason will be the biggest offseason in Sacramento Kings history. I feel like we've been saying that the past 15 years, right? Because every offseason matters, and especially this one because I think the changes are inevitable. And after 15 years, that's insane to say. My goddaughter is turning 15 on April 26th, and we're going to throw her a king set. And I cannot believe that the day she was born, the year she was born, is the last time the Sacramento Kings made the playoffs. Matter of fact, she was born April 26th. I remember being at her house, my brother's house, and she was, I don't know, a few weeks maybe. Because actually, it was the first week. It was game 3, Spurs Kings 2006.
Kevin Martin
When
game winner.
when Kmart hit that game winner, I was on my knees crying of joy. That is, my God, that was the last time the Kings were in the. That's disgusting.
You were
Anyways,
13, right?
hopefully after this 15-year drought, they can end this misery, man. And it's unfortunate that I have to bring up all this stuff. It's a Debbie Downer, no doubt, but something has to change. And Javi, things aren't going to get easier, man. D'Angelo Russell came off the bench. Anthony Edwards is looking like he's going to be a star in this league, barring some injury, some crazy thing. And if he can take over that team and be the face, unlike Cat, I like Cat, but I feel like Cat is more of a second, third guy on a very good team. He's very skilled, but he's soft. That's charming. But if this kid can be that guy, which I think he has the ability, the potential to be that dude who can score on all three levels. We saw it the first time in that first matchup. We saw it tonight. The grace that he moves with, the power that he throws it down with. This kid is legit, Javi, and I have to admit it. We must start looking at the potential prospects because this team is not making the playoffs, man. And a lot of people are tired of us bringing up Bradley Beal, and I promise you guys, we are not bringing up Bradley Beal in trades anymore for the remainder of this season because it doesn't even matter. But what we will do is try to pinpoint which player makes sense in terms of moving forward for this team. And Javi said nobody but De'Aaron. And as of right now, I kind of have to agree with it. But we're going to have to individually break down every player and see where they are, where their contracts are, where their upside may be, because I don't think Luke Walton will be the head coach next year. That is the fundamental number one change that needs to happen this offseason. That is the first thing I would do as soon as the season ends. It's, okay, Luke, you're going to get paid a lot of money the next 2 years being at home or being on a different coaching staff. Respect to you. Thank you for everything you did. We got to move on. Sometimes you got to cut your losses, as I've said on the previous shows, man. And again, things are not getting any easier for the Kings. You're looking at the Warriors next year with Klay Thompson coming back, so that's a playoff spot, right? Barring injury again. The T-Wolves depend on what they do, and man, I'm liking this idea of Russell coming off the bench, giving you 28 and 25 minutes. Like, that's scary, man. A guy who's a playmaker and a scorer, that is scary. And these three guys haven't played together nearly all year long. So just think about what they're going to do with another piece, with another high draft pick. Wowzers is what I got to say. So let's talk about the T-Wolves, man. What did you like from their team the first time you saw them and now tonight again?
Quick few comments before I get into Timberwolves. Last time the Kings made the playoffs, you're 13 years old, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now it's 14. Just think about that for a second because I don't want to be rude disrespectful towards you, but De'Aaron Fox doesn't need to look himself in the mirror. But the other 13 guys and their 14 other staff members that are part of this franchise, for the next 24 to 48 hours with Vivek also taking a deep dive into what he's done with this franchise, they need to reassess because what I'm saying is without De'Aaron Fox this season, they would have maybe 5 wins. If De'Aaron is, questioning himself, I understand, but he ain't no embarrassment. Let's not kid ourselves because without De'Aaron Fox on this roster right now and doing what he's done all year, without him doing what he's done with this putrid of a season and what the expectations were, don't make it out to be anybody that's listening on this current show that he needs an embarrassment and he needs to look himself and reevaluate. No. De'Aaron Fox has kept us in the fold, kept us in the mix, most importantly, kept us in the hunt and respectable. And I just want everybody to show you respect to De'Aaron Fox because think about how bad this team would be without De'Aaron Fox on this team. He gave you 14 tonight, and that's not a great outing for him. And they lost by 14. If De'Aaron Fox is putting 14, losing by 14, there's a problem here around the surrounding totality of the roster. Another thing, on Monday or Sunday we had a show about the Mavericks, and somebody said I didn't state the correct percentage of Luka Doncic. He did shoot 30% from three, but somebody said field goal percentage. 30% for three is bad. My point is this. The Kings tonight, when you play a team that's shooting 60, 50, 40% from three, and you're matching their overall shooting percentage in the first half, the main point I'm trying to make in the caveat is you cannot consistently give up 30 points to a team like them. That's how the 30 number came to the equation. And think you're going to win because we all know, like you just said, Minnesota has athletes. They have long, lengthy players. Most importantly, they have young, developing stars. And the way McNair's putting this team together is where they're already at. The deals that he made at the deadline were trying to get young, or let's say younger, athletic pieces that can move. With Towns, with Edwards with Russell come off the bench, and they have a Kogi and the center,
Nas Reed,
Nas Reed.
he's nice.
No, what I'm saying is, and what if they go acquire the center from USC and let Towns play the four? It's not even about there being a better situation in Minnesota. They're a better roster than us right now because outside of De'Aaron Fox, name one player on the Kings that's better than their second, third player. And I'm not saying Anthony Edwards is the second coming of Scottie Pippen or anything,
Yeah.
but I'm saying he jumps out the gym and he's seen his 3-point. That's what I'm saying because in the first half and particularly in the first quarter, they were missing 30% of their shots. That's how I had the 30%. They were making about 70% of their threes in the first quarter, not the totality of the game, not the totality of the first half. In the total first 12 minutes of the game, they were shooting lights out from the perimeter. And the main point that we all need to really privy to and point to this overall just dismissal of the Kings as a playoff contender this year to put themselves in the tournament is Rex Kalanian. Like, I don't understand like how he's still employed. And I know Luke's his guy or vice versa, but bro, and I don't even like to use those type of words because it's slang, but it's just like those are bro moments. How are the Minnesota Timberwolves doing this to you at home the first night back with fans? Like, there's just no want to. If Rashawn Holmes is the only guy to pump you up, and I know people disrespect Iman Shumpert, I'm not, because in the day when he was here, they had swag, and that's sad if you have to have a journeyman player push first-round picks to have swag and some, want to. But you can't tell me since January, February 2019 to now April 2021, the Kings look like a lottery team. And we're going to look at draft prospects, so to speak. Yeah, we're not going to talk about certain deals because obviously it's not going to happen. I'm still going to ask for it and hope it happens. We're not going to discuss it in length, though, in depth. But at the end of the day, the Minnesota Timberwolves of what they've done with their not just talent acquisition, but with their draft acquisition and their overall totality of their future with what they have on the roster and what they put together and assembled with their depth, they are, I won't say eons past the Kings, but you can't look at me, any Kings fan, say that we feel better about ourselves than the Timberwolves with the new sale to the franchise with the roster they have to Alex Rodriguez right now, and just like Edwards alone, like Halliburton is good, but all you guys are saying, I was stripping trying to Halliburton, he ain't nowhere near Anthony Edwards. And I'm not saying he's not gonna be a great player, but Anthony Edwards is different, and we can see that. I mean, he's 19 and he's jumping over cats, like jumping over Kings, and we're like, Metu's nice, but Edwards, that boy's different, and we need to put some respect on his name, and most importantly, De'Aaron Fox come June, he needs some help.
It's tough. It's tough to really counter argument that, man, and I'm looking for a different angle. Like I'm trying to sugarcoat Tyrese and his upside and what he could potentially be. I'm trying not to be a prisoner of the moment, right? Where I saw this coming before the draft. I was super high on Anthony Edwards, and I'm on record, but multiple times saying that I believe Anthony Edwards was bored at the University of Georgia. I had his teammate on my show. We broke down some film, and he pretty much told me straight up, like, this dude's a dog. And my gosh, is he not? He's proven that now every single night, I feel like. And it took him a little bit. I would say the first few months for him to get adapted, to get adjusted to certain defenses, the speed of the game, those little things where he's not the highest of IQ players, but you just see it that if it just starts to click for this dude, this guy at 19 already has an NBA body, Javi. What are they feeding these kids? Is what I'm at. Javi, you're a football player, bro. This dude looks like he's a football player.
I believe he could have played collegiately, especially at the University
Easy.
of Georgia. I don't think that he is somebody that's going to be replicated. I feel like he might be an anomaly. But again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because Minnesota has his rights. And we're in the Western Conference with them. And for a team that's won, are they 13-30? Let me see. Their record overall right now.
16-43.
My apologies for being disrespectful and giving them 13-14 wins. They're 16-43. But they don't look nowhere near 7 games worse than the Kings. The Kings look 3 or 4 games worse than they do. And I know they had a bad night, but at the end of the day, unless they flip a 180-degree switch tomorrow when we host the game, the pregame at Medici, Sacramento tomorrow, I don't see how anybody can look on any platform, whether it's our show, a radio show, in the comment section, you call in tonight, The numbers there. Listen in the comment section, and you can tell us, me and Leo, that we have some inclination of being prisoners of the moment because the whole game, no matter how much the Kings were trying to rapid fire response with any type of rally offensively, they were coming in all, all facets, all systems go, hitting on every cylinder, hitting on every level. Whether it was D'Angelo, whether it was Reed, whether it was Towns, whether it was Edwards, Kogi, Josh McDaniels was yamming things at the bucket, just going nuts. And you guys all can recall that dunk at the end of the fourth quarter, looking like it was a dunk contest, 6'10" with length. I mean, they're shooting out in the first quarter like they're in a three-point competition. And we might sound like Debbie Downers, and I might sound like a broken record or the bearer of bad news, the Debbie Downer, but I want the Kings more. I want the Kings rather to win more than anybody. Maybe outside of Leo, maybe we wanted to win more, but at the end of the day, I said on numerous occasions last week, there's a missing piece here. Whether it's the roster, whether it's the coaching staff, whatever, it doesn't feel right. And it hasn't felt right in a long time. And we made, quick bandages we stuck on things to, stop the leaking of the boat sinking. But the boat is upside down and De'Aaron's holding on his hand outside the ocean like, somebody, come on. Like, I can't do it by myself. When Dave Yeager was here, yeah, the boat was kind of like, steady going. It would stop and start, and then eventually just stop moving. But it never was here. It was never here. Granted, they got that defeat to Brooklyn when D'Angelo was on the Kings, but you can never look at any Kings fan or Leo myself and tell me it ever like this with Dave Yeager that year they had success. And granted, that might, whatever, that was an okay year to other teams' respective franchise, but hey, we're the Kings right now. We're 15 years in the hole. Like, there has to be a sense of accountability.
Okay.
Like, there's none.
Okay.
And I want Kings fans right now to really discuss that and really call in and tell us how you feel right now, because that's real. And it don't get no more real than that, because many times over, the Kings have made mistakes, and they're really, in all retrospect, today are paying for them. They're paying dividends in the worst way.
So Street Culture Media says, why isn't his IQ as high? He's referring to Anthony Edwards. He reads defense as well and consistently makes the right play. Don't agree with you. I guess we have to agree or disagree, because he is nowhere near the IQ of Tyrese Halliburton. And again, Tyrese is a little bit older, but it's not like, to me, a massive difference. Honestly, it's not. I don't see 2 years being a massive difference, especially when one is going to be 25 and the other one 27 soon. Like, when you look at CJ and Dame and you see the ages, they were both juniors and seniors, I believe. Ain't nobody talking about the age of Steph Curry. Ain't nobody talking about the fact that they're, 31, 32 right now. Nobody cares. So maybe right now people can hold on to the upside argument or debate, which to me is still pretty ridiculous. But go ahead. Like, I'll give you that. But in terms of IQ, I'm not going to say that actually, I'm going to say that you're wrong, because there's certain times where he has made a lot of mistakes, especially early on. And even tonight, where if I break down the film, potentially not tomorrow, but the following day, I can show you where his reads aren't the best, but I'm not saying his reads can't get better. And that's the scary part. So if you want to use that against me, that's fine. But in terms of him having high IQ right now, let's not kid ourselves. If he had high IQ right now, the T-Wolves would be so much better. Like, playing the Kings and scoring 134 isn't the big thing, because the Kings allow 134 against everybody. But he still has far ways to go, yet he's already that good and that dangerous. So we agree on certain points. And again, I'm super high on him. I was high on him coming into the NBA, man. So those are some of the things, especially defensively. Anthony Edwards is just awful defensively. Like, he has the capabilities like De'Aaron Fox to be great, but off the ball, Ant is really bad. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat that. And Tyrese is levels ahead of him in that area. Would you agree with that, Javi?
Yes and no. I mean, yeah,
Okay.
he's better than him off the ball, but I don't care. Anthony Edwards is a better player. He can score way more
Is
consistent
he a
than
better player
Tyrese.
right now?
You would take Tyrese Halliburton over Anthony Edwards right now?
Right
Tyrese Halliburton
now?
fell off, brother. I don't care. After the trade deadline, he's fell off. Like, I'm not saying he's like not worthy, but for one,
Like
his ability.
today? Like today? Or like,
We only have the sample size of both them this season. Like, it's not like we're comparing seasons. Like, they have this one season. Anthony Edwards has played better in the totality of this year than Tyrese Halliburton. Maybe not defensively, but the
so you're
totality of the
saying he's
work.
rookie of the year?
And if LaMelo comes back, because remember he got cleared for basketball activities today and comes back and plays, I think he'll win it. But if he's a shell of himself, I think Edwards is going to win it, and it's not going to be close.
Oh, that's
He,
interesting.
I mean, what do you have tonight? He had 25. How many do you have
I'm
tonight?
not. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying
He had 28 and
you're
38
like
minutes with four rebounds.
it's over, right? Like to you, it's over.
Unless Halliburton averages 20 points for the next 15 games or so, however many games they have left, he's not going to do that. I mean, he's fell off. I mean, tonight he had what, 12? He had 7. 7, 1 board, 9 assists. I mean, he's playing good with the ball in his hands as a facilitator, but he's not making the impact in the scoring department that we need him to do, so to speak. And especially you look at it, and then the day, Leo, he got benched. Whether it's the betterment or not, he still got benched. Like, whether they think it's better to start Harkless or not, in the day, he hasn't played the same since he came back from the injury. And I'm not saying he didn't have his, his peaks and valleys, but he's definitely in a valley right now. And most importantly, he and any other GM outside of, I don't even know, the worst team in the East would take Anthony Edwards over Tyrese Halliburton. And maybe even the worst team in the East, no matter how much Tyrese Halliburton's playing, because nobody can sit there and tell you that Tyrese Halliburton is worth more to their team than Anthony Edwards, more valuable right now, and is a better commodity asset, potential star player. Most importantly, the upside is nowhere near. And Halliburton's going to be good, but Edwards is different. And I know he can't shoot, or he's not got the ball, or defensively he's not the best, or maybe you're saying IQ isn't there all the way. I don't care. He can do things that other players in the Kings cannot. Name one player outside De'Aaron that can jump, move, and dunk and run like Anthony Edwards now.
Nobody. No, I mean that's the whole league. It's not just the Kings. It's like everybody. But okay, there's a good question from Nick Kiao. Okay, Leo, let me ask you this: who has a brighter future, Edwards or Zion? Go ahead, Javi.
Zion. I think Zion, and I don't think it's because Edwards plays because he's a guard. I think that Zion is going to be getting more opportunity, more spotlight, and he's stronger. Like, the only way he's not, I feel like, because of injury, because Zion plays so physical, or they hold him back in New Orleans, or he just falls up. I mean,
that's a tough question, bro. And you're saying it with like conviction.
Zion in the interior right now, though. Name one player that can guard Zion in the interior. Edwards is a great talent, but he ain't as physical strong or as nearly as physical as Zion is right now. And I'm not saying he's not physical.
He's like a baby Zion on the perimeter for guards.
He is. But who's more dominant right now in the interior versus the perimeter?
I mean, they're just different players.
That's why I said I'll take Zion, because no one can guard Zion. I mean, I could say Zion's like a baby Shaq.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong on that.
Look, watch when he is at Kings. He shoots like 85% from the field when he plays. The only time he misses is when he shoots outside of 10 feet. He threw Rashawn like Rashawn was playing for a middle school team, and this man Zion's been out of high school for what, 2 years? You remember that when he threw Rashawn Holmes, when he made him move out the way like he's on a middle school team, and Zion's over here at 20, 21? Rashawn is 26, 27-year-old grown man. He said, "Move out my way." You remember that game, remember?
Yeah.
I mean, I love Rashawn, but Zion has a way with anybody and everybody in the league right now in the interior. And it's not even a question.
Cat had corona. Russell got hurt. The Wolves didn't want to lose their draft pick. They went tank mode early. The Wolves aren't as bad as their record. I agree with that. Like, they're not as bad as their 16-43 record for sure. But to answer that quickly, like, Ant or Zion, I feel like if Ant continues on this trajectory, it's kind of blasphemous to say it, but I feel like if they both reach their peaks, I would take Ant. Like, I just love the idea of a guy that can play in the pick and roll as a guard and still have the ability to shoot the three-point shot. I don't think Zion will ever reach that level of competency from beyond the arc like that ability, that grace just to pull up in transition or just pull up like that. Like, he has it in the post, in the turnaround jump shot form, but not like a guard, because today's league is guard and wing driven. And Zion's a special player. Like, when you put Zion at the 5, it's so scary because there's not a 5 in the league that can stay in front of him or even guard him because he has the strength to match up against them, but they ain't got the speed to match up with someone like that. But it's super close. I mean, they're both freaks. Let's be honest. They're both freaks. But as you guys see on our screen right now, on our ticker scroll, the link's in the bio if you guys want to call in and join the show. Would love to hear your thoughts on who you guys would take. And again, do the Timberwolves have a brighter future than the Sacramento Kings? Both Javi and I, right now on April 20th, both agree that they do. And it's sad to say, but we feel like they do. Their roster has toughness, it has athleticism. I really like Vanderbilt, but I really like
Natural too.
McDaniels a lot. Like I like McDaniels a lot, man. His length, played 30 minutes tonight. He was 6 of 8, 6 rebounds, 13 points, tough nose defense. Josh Okogie or Okogie, he's tough. He's a guy that I would love this Kings to have. He's a Josh Hart type player where these dudes are ready from the get go. They're ready to make an impact off the bench or even, you know, start occasionally. And I just like you said, man. Like after De'Aaron is obviously the best player on both teams, but
It's debatable too.
yeah, I
It's
just feel
debatable
like
too. That's debatable too, Leo.
why?
That's debatable too. Carl
Why?
Anthony Towns is not in the conversation.
Hell no! Stop it.
He's on the conversation with De'Aaron, like not in the conversation. I'm not
No,
being bitter. Like
no. There's levels to this. There's levels to this.
Carl Anthony Towns has played in the league a lot longer than De'Aaron, and has been more dominant than De'Aaron, and has made the All Star team.
So you would take Anthony Towns over De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah, what I'm just saying, he's at least in the conversation. Like it's not like it's like
No.
apples and oranges. Like they're close.
No.
Tell me the comment section, fans, if I'm over here with the stretch right now saying that Towns and Fox are somewhat comparable in stardom and overall ability, because I don't feel like anywhere near Leo's assessment that Karl Anthony Towns is below De'Aaron. Like it ain't like I don't love De'Aaron, but don't make it out like De'Aaron's here and Towns is here. I think it's like right
So
here.
and you're under 25.
I had Fox number 5.
You had Cat number 5.
No, I had De'Aaron Fox at 5.
Okay, fine. Is I think Cat's 25 still, right?
Let me see.
Let's check because I didn't see him on anybody's top 10.
I don't think he's 25 though. Let me see. Karl Anthony Towns.
He's a 95 baby.
Yes, he's 26. That's why.
Ah.
He's 26. Turned 26 this year, or he's turning 26. He turned 26 in November, so he's still technically 25, but
He is 25.
yeah.
I didn't see him in anybody's top 10. That's all I'm going to say. So, to your idea that, yes, he's been an all-star, his game has been exposed a lot like DeMarcus's, where it just hasn't transitioned or hasn't translated to victories, to wins, and we have to put a huge emphasis on that, man. And I just don't feel like he can ever be the number one guy on a very, very good team. And I feel like De'Aaron can be. So when you look at these type of things, under 25 stars, upcoming stars, potential, I think he's at his peak. He is who he is. To me, he's a 2 or a 3. And that's not a bad thing. Like I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like I would love to have him as our second best player. Don't get things twisted. But that's why I said early on, I said Ant has to be that number one guy for them to be successful. It can't be Karl Anthony Towns. It needs to be Anthony Edwards. And if you have a nice 3, like a third piece, not a 3, but a third piece like D'Lo, especially if his ego's not too big where he accepts coming off the bench, he could be the best 6 man in NBA history. Like I'm going as far as saying that. Is that far fetched?
No, but let's make sure I have a few points to counter what you said. Let's not disrespect Karl Anthony Towns. He's averaging 22 and 11 over his career. He's averaging 26 and 10 right now. He's a 2-time
Empty
All-Star.
stats. Empty stats.
That's
Empty.
debatable. That's
That's
all subjective.
empty.
He's averaging 18 and 10 his first
That's
year,
empty.
25 and 12 his second year, 21 and 12 his third year, 24 and 12 his fourth year, 26 and 10 right now. Granted, the Timberwolves have been horrible, but I'm not going to sit there and act like he's not close to De'Aaron. That team has natural ability that's invaluable. And I'm not even saying that Zion is better than Anthony Edwards, but all I'm saying is that if Anthony Edwards were Zion-esque or like I thought would be better, I just feel like they would be better. But the crazy thing about all this, how we talked about the subjective thought of why they are where they're at with that comment, I agree with him. It's funny and it's almost sad. No, it is sad. I feel like they might let Saunders coach them throughout the year to lose, knowing that he would not promote them in a prominent position to win games. And then when they got to a low enough point, they said, all right, we can flip the script, change the page, turn to the next chapter, and go into the next book. Bring the guy we really want to finish the year. We'll still be low enough. Keep the Warriors pick that they got from the D'Angelo Russell acquisition. They'll get the pick back. Minnesota will for this draft. They'll have all this young nucleus that they built up. They'll get the top 3, 4, 5 pick, whatever it was in the draft in 2021 from the Warriors back for this 2021 NBA draft. And they still have so much promise, even with a horrible roster, but they still kept their pick with how bad they played and how putrid they were with Saunders coaching them, losing games early on so many times, night in and night out. They have, in my opinion, night and day over more than over exuberant potential compared to Sacramento. Because outside of De'Aaron Fox, there's not one guy on this team, and you can put Halliburton there, and I'll give you a few Kings fans that, but they have Carl, they have Edwards, they have D'Lo, Kogi, they got Rubio, they got the center, what's his name?
Nas Reed.
Nas Reed. They had the top 4 protected pick. They got McDaniels. I mean, they have athlete after athlete after athlete, and we have a whole bunch of and that's just what it is. We got some good basketball players that aren't the most athletic, that aren't the most lengthy, that aren't the most gifted and skilled, but they can play with technique. But when you see a team like this that's long, that can defend, and that can move faster than you, this is what happens to me. Vernon Gomez, Vanderbilt, these guys aren't even putting up good, solid numbers, but they're getting in the way of the players that are the key pillars to this team. They're annoying and festering them. But most importantly, they're counteracting anything they're trying to do because of their overall natural ability with their frame, with their length, and with their overall game.
Okay, people say, Leo, take your hat off. Take your King's hat off. All right. Anthony Edwards is better. I'm sorry, y'all. He's better than Tyrese. I mean, I said that coming into the draft, but I'm just so high on Tyrese and his ability. Yes, he's kind of in a slump. A lot of it is coaching, not allowing him to play in crunch time, not allowing him to showcase what he has showcased all season long. So give him a break. Give him a break. Someone says, Bobby Hill says, and this is to Javi and me, Minnesota's tanking, but has a brighter future according to both of you. But you're anti-tank. Develop the youth. What's your answer to that?
I respect the opinion. I'm anti-tank in regards to I don't want to play to lose the game.
Principles.
I don't want to.
Those are our principles, like in life,
Yeah.
in basketball, just period, bro. It's like it's pretty simple.
I want the Kings to win every game they play. I don't play to lose the game. I don't want the Kings to play to lose the game. I don't want the Kings to go out there trying to lose to tank for a draft pick. I don't want the Kings to be playing for a draft pick. Now, granted, the strategy you're more or less presenting can have its benefits, but also can have its caveats to no success.
The Kings won 17 games that one year, and they ended up getting number 4 pick, which turned out to be Tyreek Evans. So let's not act like, yes, in theory, you have better odds, man. So just stop this nonsense. When the Kings got number 2, what were they? They were number 7. In the lottery system, I am not going to allow and just predicate my future in a lottery system. This isn't the NFL, so just get over yourself, bro. Like, I get it. When you have a dog and a player like De'Aaron Fox, you do not tank. The environment is already toxic, okay? By losing purposely, by sitting out certain guys, you're only making things worse. So no, it's not as simple as, oh, the T-Wolves are tanking. The T-Wolves are a rare, very rare team situation. The way things happened, as people said, they're not as bad as their record indicates. A lot of things happened to them. So yes, they ended up tanking, but they're still better. And yeah, like the Kings and T-Wolves will probably end up with roughly the same records, honestly. So I see what you did, and I call cap on what you just said.
Well, the main point that we need to make is that the whole tanking community, you understand, like you want to lose and you want to play for the pick. it's not even guaranteed you get the player that's going to
Exactly.
turn the Kings over
Exactly.
to the quote unquote new leaf you're looking to expand upon right now. But the biggest thing is that you can't look at me and tell me as a Kings fan that you think that any way on this earth the creator has provided for us that De'Aaron Fox at his capability and his competition standpoint from the competitor that he is would be okay and more than complacent with going in a direction to lose games and trade away assets, play for high draft picks, and just put a product out there to lose a game. And if that Kings fan, any other Kings fan that says, "Oh, from here on out, if we tank, that's what we need to do to get this higher draft pick," can say that, yeah, De'Aaron Fox want to be here in 2 years, you're lying to yourself. Now, granted, it's right now at a certain extent. There's definitely a notion that can be made that they should play for the pick and whatever because of how bad they're currently playing and they're out of it. They're out of the playoff hunt. It's done. So they're not going to go, 4-13-1 over the next 14. But what I'm saying for the remaining 14 games, what I'm saying to play the tank, to play to lose, to play for a pick, it doesn't set the culture you want to have in the locker room. And like I said, name one team that's won a championship trying to tank in any organization. And don't say the Sixers because they haven't won anything. And don't say Golden State with a timeline because they didn't tank to get Steph Curry or Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. They played them players, and they had them players rather to play for them because they got good draft selection with good overall talent evaluators. They didn't tank and get them players.
Steph was injured his first 2 years, which led him to sign a 4-year, $48 million, which
Was a
matters. So a lot
was
of
a
good things went
steal
their way.
and don't say the Spurs because they never play to lose. They just had good talent evaluators. But I just want to hear the tankers that say, "Well, let's tank, 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 tank." Okay, well, then name one team that's ever won a championship going by the method of tanking. Like, and if you want to be the 76ers, then okay. But the 76ers missed on a few of them picks too. They just happened to hit on two big ones. But Nerlens Noel, Okafor. I believe there's one more they let walk out the door too. Like, yeah, they hit on Simmons and they hit on Joel Embiid, but don't forget Nerlens Noel rather, and Okafor were busts. Like those are players that they were adamant about drafting those tanking years with not Scott Perry, but Hinkie rather. And in the day, they haven't won anything out of having that path set for their future. So I respect the opinion of the tanker mindset, but tell me one team that's done what you want them to do. Like, for real, let me know. Like, look at me or look at Leo and tell us right now, name the team that you can resemble. Like, yeah, that's what I want the Kings to be. Because it's not practical in any
Yes.
sense.
So a great point by our Zone Productions 2K says, what y'all don't understand is the T Wolves have like half the roster that is going to get paid at the same time. They are going to lose guys like Nas Reed and McDaniels for probably nothing. And that's a good point too, because at the end of the day, with salary caps in place, you can't pay everybody. Um, Bobby Hill says nobody wants to lose, uh, and players won't lose on purpose. Why not try out some of the youth? Give
That's the
Tyrese the
future.
green. Give Tyrese the green lights like Edwards.
That was the guy who talked about tanking, right?
Yeah, I look Bobby.
So,
Like
so what is
obviously
he?
the Kings should already give him the green light, not because they should tank, but because he's already like second, third best player on the team.
He's earned
So
that.
to your point, yeah, like he should have the green light, and he should be playing 30 plus minutes. Tonight he only played 26. A lot of it was because I think that Luke Walton really liked what Harkless was doing. Harkless put up 20 points. He had his best game as a King. I disagree with the fact that he played, who was it? Too many minutes. Um, and let's be honest, like Buddy played 30 minutes a night tonight. He should have played 26.
He had 11, right?
And Halliburton should have played 30, right? That's one guy that you can pinpoint. Another guy is Terrence Davis. He had 18 points. Sorry, he had 18 minutes, 6 points. Maybe you shed 4 minutes from his playing time and you give him to Tyrese. So you could have done a lot of different things, man. So yes, I agree with that. But what do you mean by playing the younger guys? Are you trying to play Kyle Guy because he ain't gonna be in the roster, or he's not gonna be part of if they ever become a winning roster? Let's be honest. And I love Kyle. Like that's my guy. If you mean in terms of Woodward, I think I think we're at the point now where both Javi and I have waved the white flag. We both say that this is not going to happen. And it may be a good point now to start to play those guys theoretically, but what are you really telling De'Aaron? Like at the end of the day, man, because you have De'Aaron Fox, you can't do things logically the way you make them sound to be, or again, logical things. De'Aaron's gonna be like, well, they're definitely tanking. They're definitely not trying to win. Why am I playing? So unless you just start sitting him out with fake injuries, I'm not saying he's not injured because I'm pretty sure he's banged up, but you see the Pistons, the Thunder, all these teams doing it. If they start doing that, then yeah, then you can play Woodward, Ramsey, who else? Metu. Um, so if that's what you mean, like if you just want to see, I mean, I can't even argue with you because they got blown out tonight. But if you want to continue to see this type of basketball of just blowouts, and you rather watch the youth play, so be it, man. Like it's tough.
I just, like you said, Buddy, this unacceptable performance. He had 11, 4 and 2, and it's crazy. He played really well to start. He had 3 threes to open the game. He just disappeared, and that happens from time to time. And I feel like he's done a lot of that with Luke Walton as a coach, but again, that could be completely subjective. The fan says you don't play to lose or blah blah. So I'm saying, like, so what are you saying though? Playing the young guys, trying to get them minutes, will in essence have us lose because they're not ready to perform at the NBA level to win games. Okay, but then the message to Aaron is okay. We're we're not going to play to win, but we're not going to play to lose. We're going to play everybody to see what we have. Okay, I understand, but two things. So that happens, right? The Kings lose a bunch of games. They lose. They got 14. They lose 10 of the 14. Silva's playing, looking okay, but we know he's backup role type of center on this team going forward right now with what we have. But then you're talking about you want to lose and play for the pick and develop the young guys, Woodard and everything. I understand that. That sounds good and everything, all that and everything in a bag of chips. That sounds very fun for the next future, for the next 14 games for the rest of the season right now when you're looking at things. Have them play a substantial amount of minutes right now. But what if De'Aaron says, you know what? I ain't feeling this right now. Matter of fact, I ain't feeling it at all. I'm out. Matter of fact, I'm demanding a trade and I'm holding out. Don't ever think Kings players that see De'Aaron don't see the frustration in his face, especially as of late. Because you're talking about tanking or playing for a pick or having the young guys play right now a lot of minutes. It's going to get real when you need to be more than ready for him to demand a trade if they go into full tank mode, quote unquote, and play for the pick. Because I'm going to say like what I'm going to say next week and the week after that. Be careful what you wish for. Because if De'Aaron Fox demands a trade, this whole team is done.
Yeah.
And not for next year, I'm talking about for 5 years.
Easily.
And don't forget, like you're talking about play for the pick. And what if De'Aaron says, you know what? I ain't about that. And if you want that type of time, then send me right out of here. Send me to Miami. I'm done with Sacramento. And you guys will be like, oh, De'Aaron. No, he's not. He's not wrong for that. He wants to win. And if you want to tank for picks right now and play for the pick, I respect your opinion. They have every right to right now. But De'Aaron ain't cut like that. De'Aaron cut like me. He cut like Leo. He cut like the fans that want to win, like E-Man and Ty. And that might be ignorant. But I don't wake up every day thinking about how could I wait the day to save the next dollar. I'm trying to make the next dollar. I'm not worried about losing the next dollar. I'm trying to make the next dollar. If you're sitting here talking about, oh, I want to play for the pick for an unknown commodity, I understand the value in it. But De'Aaron don't think like that. If you're going to sit there and wave the white flag and say, yeah, we're done right now, we're going to play all the young guys, advanced amount of minutes right now, and have them sit all their starters, and they're going to play real close to the vest with anybody that's worth NBA quality talent, and you're going to have all the young guys play
Facts.
real sustainable minutes, and it's going to be real pertinent and predominantly young guys playing. It's going to put them in position to play for the pick. It's going to be real upsetting, real disappointing. Most importantly, it's going to put the mess out there at the end that they're not playing to win. And you know what it's going to do? Hey, man, it's been real, but send me up out of here. I'm done with Sacramento. I'm ready to go now. And what are you going to say, Kings fans? Oh, I don't like De'Aaron. No, dog. Nah, dog. No, man. No. And and that might sound again like a broken record, but we've seen it. Like we've seen with other NBA stars
way too many times.
playing when teams didn't have competent GMs or a true direction or trying to lose. Players just like, bro, I'm up out of here. From Kristaps to Anthony Davis to Kyrie Irving, the list can go on and on and on. And maybe they're not the exact same scenarios because no situation, no scenario, no team has the same issues. But the main microcosm of my conversation and my point is the star ends up leaving for things that are out of his control. Like, period. There's no other way to say
Period.
it.
And
Like,
again, if
and
this was
De'Aaron,
the
let's feel,
NFL draft,
yes.
I'd be all about it, right? Like, oh, let's lose. The problem is, historically speaking, looking at the Kings specifically, just look at their drafts, man. Let me reiterate, the year they actually wanted to tank and they won 17 games, they should have had the number one pick. Guess what? They fell to 4. And the odds have gotten worse for tanking teams. We see it every single year. Someone always slips into the top 4. So all I'm saying is play to win. Do what you got to do in terms of what is best for the organization, in terms of keeping your star happy. Like the Kings finally have a star, man. They finally have a star, and his name is De'Aaron Fox. He is that dude. Now he needs help. To me, if you don't draft Kate Cunningham, and in my opinion, this is Leo's opinion, okay? My opinion is this is a one player franchise changer draft to me. And his name is Cade. And if you don't get number one, you might get a very good player like a Tyrese, right? Which I wouldn't be mad at. Obviously, duh. Like, no one's arguing that. But to me, every year, people use this term way too loosely. Oh, this guy's a potential franchise changer. You know how many times I've heard that the past 15 years? A lot. And guess what? The odds, if y'all so into odds and statistics, look up the statistics and tell me how many of those players actually panned out to be altering franchise changers. And I'll answer it for you. Not many, right? Derek Williams, Michael Beasley, Jabari Parker, all number 2 picks, okay? All number 2 picks. Where are they now? What have they done? What will they do? Answer those questions, man.
And,
Jokic, second round pick. Giannis, past what was it? Past 13, and the list goes on. There is no guarantees, man. So the idea here, rather than focus on losing and getting the pick, how about we focus on having the right infrastructure in place? How about we focus on having the right scouting department, the right people evaluating these players, these talents. At the end of the day, doesn't matter if you have the number 1 pick, number 2 pick. Obviously, the Kings had number 2 pick, and guess what they did? They chose someone that shouldn't have been there, okay? Let's focus on those things, try and bring those guys in, and then we can focus about the rest.
and let's make sure we have this point also discussed upon, because you have Kings fans out there talking about this. Let's just take a deep dive real quick and definitely touch on this. Kings fans are so quick to want to tank and play for the pig, right? Now, you look at things in the totality of the season, and you just have a feeling of, yeah, there's definitely a disappointment. There's a loss, but the NBA is not the NFL. There is a bloodline in the NFL for the NFL's rosters, because the name of the game in the NFL is getting the most out of the best and youngest talent on cheap labor like contracts. Getting cheap labor and getting the most out of that, because the bloodline of that league is the NBA, is the NFL draft for the National Football League. The NBA, their bloodline is not the NBA draft. It's stars, star-driven league. More players in the NBA win championships based on acquisition, trade, and signing through free agency for the predominantly important teams. Now, granted, say we're a small market, we got to draft. Okay, but don't act as if the blue chip to a successful turnaround in Sacramento to win a championship is going to come through the draft. No, it's going to come through personnel decisions. It's going to come through making the right choice in free agency, acquiring the right players to trade. And yes, obviously it's going to come through acquiring any player through the draft. But don't make this out to be the lottery ticket is, I want the first pick in the NBA draft, and that's the way. No. No, no, no. Because you can't tell me that the Warriors feel good about James Wiseman right now. Clay
Hell
comes back
no,
and
they don't.
about, they're like, yeah, he's the guy that gets. No. If they could do it all again, they would have traded that pick. They would have got a star. They would have got a Beal. They would have got any star talent that was available in
Or
the
they would
offense.
have drafted LaMelo.
Or, yeah, they would have packaged with the pick and Wiggins, got Beal or somebody else. Yeah, they're gonna sit there obviously in their PR and say, yeah, we love what he's doing right now, James Harden. But you looking at it right now,
Not
no,
even
no,
Steve
it's
Kerr. Steve
chill.
Kerr came out and said they like low key regret it.
I mean, I'm in the day, it's just they know they made a mistake, and I'm not saying he's not gonna be a good player, but I
Yeah,
said
we're we're
from the jump, they
we're
should have
not saying
traded
that.
the pick,
By
or
the
they should
way,
have traded and or went down and got LaMelo, or just drafted LaMelo outright at 2. But now they're playing what hands sent out to the dealer, like the Kings did with Marvin Bagley, and look where you're so quick to forget about that. Like the Kings had the second overall pick. Marvin Bagley don't even play. He don't even play.
yeah.
He doesn't even
Uh,
play.
they're asking me if I like Jalen Suggs. Love Jalen Suggs. I think
Yeah,
he's a stud.
who did in the
Uh,
game, championship game.
I mean, Jalen's a stud. I think he's going to be really good, but is he a franchise changer? I'm going to say no, not right now. I love Kaminga, but is he a franchise changer? I don't know. Uh, the truth is nobody knows. Is Evan Mobley a franchise changer? I'm scared about bigs, but I like the fact in terms of comparing him to Bagley, at least he plays defense. So from that perspective, he's a higher prospect to me. So, I think he's not going to come into the league averaging like 17 a game or anything like that. I could see him average like 14 and 8 his rookie year, but if he can average 14 and 8 and impact winning, that's different. So I had this conversation with Tyler. So the guy who talks a lot of shit on Instagram, the guy says cancel Leo. So random as hell. I met him today at Lifetime Fitness in Folsom, and after we hooped and stuff, he's like, I know who you are. You're Cowboy Kingdom. I'm like, what's up? Who are you? He said, I'm Tyler. And I'm like, oh shit, the guy who talks a lot of shit. He goes, yeah, that's me. So I had this conversation. I'm not gonna go into details about it. But obviously, I try and not confront's not the right word, but just talk it out like adults. Young kid, I don't know, 19, 20 years old, still in college. So, and I just asked him like, why do you talk so much shit? And then he said, I don't like your table, blah. I'm like, that's fine, whatever. But and I asked him, do you think you got too personal? He goes, yeah, like I went overboard, and that's all I wanted to hear. Like, okay, he manned up about it, so props to him. Um, and then so that happened, and we were talking about Mobley and Kaminga, and I think, and obviously he's pro tank. And I asked him, I said, no, I said, so this point was about Jaren Jackson. I said, there's a huge difference between Jaren Jackson and Marvin Bagley, in my opinion. One guy averaged 14 and 9 his rookie year, and the other guy, I forget what he averaged. But when the Grizzlies have Jaren Jackson, they're significantly better because Jaren Jackson impacts winning. So that's the big discrepancy here, man. And I know people love to hold on to the 14 and 9 rookie year, but to me, those stats are empty, Javi. And I know you're not in agreement with that, but those things matter to me. And even though Jaren hasn't been as reliable in terms of playing because he's been banged up as well, but when he's on the floor, you feel that guy. Like you feel him. Like Tyrese. Like for most of the season, you feel when he's in the game because he makes such an impact. When Marvin's out there, I don't feel that. And I feel like the majority of Kings fans would agree to that.
Um, I mean, I don't think the stats are empty, but again, we're just going to really disagree. Jaren Jackson's a great player. I'd rather have him on the Kings than Marvin Bagley,
For
but
sure.
I want Luka, but that's just a whole different conversation. In the
Yeah.
day,
So I had Luca and
we're
Jaren 1 and 2 on my big board.
yeah, and I just like I said, Vlade's mistakes and it cost us for the years to come. But I like Jaren Jackson. I'm not going to sit there and say he's worse than Marvin because he's clearly the better player. But again, I'm just not ready to let go of Marvin for 35 cents on the dollar. But everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I'm not going to sit there and put Marvin Bagley in the top 6, 7 players in the roster, but I'm just not ready to cut him for a second round pick. I'm not. I know the salary dump, but at the end of the day, we salary dump him more or less, lack of a better term, to Rishan Rasan. For then what? To see this again? To see what Rashawn was going to make the 14-point difference? No. No, if
Mm,
someone would have made a 5 to 10 point difference, they still would have lost. Like I don't care
but do
how
they go on a 14-0 run in the fourth? Because the
do they
game
lose
was
the
close the
game.
whole game.
Do they lose the game?
Huh?
Do the Kings lose the game?
No.
Okay, well I think they do because the
No
team should
way.
not be basing their whole defensive schematic plays on off one player. It's a team sport.
Sadly, though, he makes that much of an impact on defensive end. And
Why
they're
isn't
still
Damian
bad
Jones
with him.
playing? Why isn't Damian Jones playing anymore though? Well, I don't like. Why is he not playing anymore? Why did they give him all the minutes in the first 10 games, the 10-day contract, or not 10 games, the 10-day contract, and now he doesn't play anymore?
Because he's not
What was
good.
he doing with the 2nd-day contract? He's not
You
good.
said it yourself. Like, he's not good. Remember that? You said
Damian?
that. You said he was a scrub.
No, I know, but I'm saying well, what they're putting out there is not working either. Like it ain't like what they
Is he
have.
better than Whiteside?
I mean, look at the interior players for the Timberwolves. Did they have great night tonight? Yeah, and it wasn't even close. Like Whiteside had 20. What did Towns have? 29, 31. What did Towns have tonight? Towns tonight had 26, 18, and 5. Oh my word! What?
That's my point. So if you have
Whiteside didn't
Rashawn,
have 20. Whiteside had 12 and 7. Like, come on, man. It's not even close. Damian Jones can't get a minute? He can't get 1 minute on the court, not one? Come on, brother. You can't tell me he can't get 1 minute.
all right, man. So again, links are in the bio, in the description. Join the conversation. We'll take 1 or 2 calls if you guys want. If not, we're gonna end this because we're at the 1 hour mark already. We've had I think, a very constructive, sad, but realistic conversation about the Kings, about the Timberwolves. I'm excited to see what Ant does because again, I was on Ant early on, um, and I always like to be right in terms of my credibility. When I choose somebody and I give them my essentially my trust, like I gave Ant my trust because a lot of quote unquote extras are like, well, he doesn't give a shit about defense, blah blah blah. He still honestly he still doesn't give a shit about defense, but still, like he has the potential to be very good on that end if he just focuses, if he watches more film. Those are things at 19 that he can fix and get better at. So I love the fact that he's playing well. And yeah, like honestly, from a national perspective, if LaMelo doesn't come back to form, Ant's going to be rookie of the year. Even though I said today that Tyrese has, and again, Tyrese could very well average 15 and 8 the next 12, 14 games. And that could be enough to win him the award. Like, honestly, because Ant didn't have the best of starts. So that's where the split can happen from a lot of people's perspective. So,
Yeah,
again, if y'all want to join, the
we'll see.
link, the link's in the bio. It's the guest.ecam.live. Click that link and we will get a notification and you guys will join the screen and the conversation. We want to talk to you guys. Bobby Hill, good show, man. Appreciate you, brother. Again, we don't have to agree on everything, man. And that's the beauty of this platform. Like, we can agree to disagree and have a civilized conversation. The conversations I don't like is when someone says, oh, F you, Leo, you trash takes. Like, that's not a way to approach another man, another adult. There are certain ways that if you say something, we can talk about it, right, Javi? Like, there are certain ways of being respectful about certain things, man.
It's just having punctuality and just having respect for one another. And like you said about Halliburton averaging 15, I don't think he's gonna do that. I think Edwards is gonna win it unless the Mel comes back and balls out. But again, we can agree disagree because
You don't think Halliburton can average 15 and 8?
I don't think he is gonna do it.
Okay.
I don't think he is gonna do it. But again, that's just having my point is that we can have that agreement and still have mutual
Yeah.
punctuality and accountability to respect each other because it's called being a adult in life, being somebody that has maturity, not the name call. That's like, come on, man. Like, we're trying to promote good, productive conversation about a basketball team that we care about, and that's it. So, waiting for a call, waiting for you guys to text in the numbers in the description of the bio. You guys can text in, message on the comment section, whatever you feel currently on this podcast. Waiting for your calls. We're at the 1 minute mark, so somebody call in. We'd love to talk to you and chat about the Kings and the lack of their overall competency, delivery, and most importantly, their dedication to want to win basketball games.
All right, so I'm gonna put it out there. Just typed in the group chats. Anyone calling? The Wolves are 2 wins away from losing their pick. Not even though, because they can finish 4, 5, 6 and still get into the top 3. Man, we've seen it a lot. So
Yeah, I don't know what we're talking about. It's about the balls in the lottery.
yeah,
However, the ball bounces in the lottery machine. It doesn't matter about the record. It's how the lottery, how does the lottery system work, and how does that overall machine work with the way the Minnesota Timberwolves balls will bounce in that machine when they spin it the day of the NBA lottery, NBA draft lottery. Because no matter what record they finish with, no matter what they do, no matter what happens, as long as they get done what happens on the NBA draft lottery show, whenever it happens there, whatever way the ball spins, whatever happens, whatever they do with that, that's what will be the overall outcome. And on that end, with the pick that's going to Golden State, will determine that pick in the D'Angelo Russell trade going forward, what they'll do.
I can't really say anything to that, man. I mean, that's a
And
fact.
they got better future, they got better assets, they got better overall potential than we do right now with the roster they have assembled. I mean, that's just facts. And it's not like they're a better team, but they have better future, better potential. I mean, like I said, outside of De'Aaron, name a player that has more upside on the Kings than they do in their top 3. So.
Yeah. Hansi Hernandez says the lottery screwed us before. So I was going to do it with y'all, man. Again, on behalf of the entire CK team, y'all can listen to this on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, wherever you get your podcast. We are on there. You guys can drop a comment. Hit us on the DMs. DMs are always open. Would love for you guys to join us tomorrow at Medici, Sacramento. From 6 to 7 is a live show. We'll be there a little bit earlier trying to set up and all those things, trying to fix the technical things of things, right? First time doing it, so hopefully it goes smooth, man. We'll have a 2-camera, probably 3-camera system, trying to get all angles. And if we do have a crowd, that'd be awesome. So on behalf of the entire CK family, we thank you guys. Go ahead.
One quick thing. Just want before I end the show, when I found out about my player passing away, I just want everybody to really, like I said, like I opened the show, really appreciate people that are in your life that you care about. You know, I want everybody to really hear that. I want Dan Hughes rest in power, and forever missed, and always in our hearts. And we all love you here in the North Bay. You're in everything that we try to instill in being a dream chaser, a true Vanna Viking, Vanna High School, my high school, and you meant a lot to me and all the coaches. And you're a real dream chaser. The dream chasers never sleep, and you always be in our hearts, man. Dream chaser. May you rest in peace.
Rest in peace, man. Good night, everybody. Peace.